more information on what we're talking about tonight, visit our website at IndieMediaNetwork.com. That's IndieMediaNetwork.com.
Hey everyone, this is TMC and welcome to News You Can Use.
How's everybody doing? News you can use. Whoa. We got something going on that doesn't need to be going on there. Sorry about that, people. Sorry.
It's a Monday.
It is. I had something I didn't need to be going on. All right, I didn't have my intro today, so what it is today is what is it? The 5th of September, 2016, and today's topic is blowing the lid off distilled water myths. Okay.
So while you're sitting around the picnic table and everybody having their Labor Day picnic and all this, check us out. This is a pretty good story I think we're going to cover.
Yes, yeah.
Topic.
It is a good topic because, and it's also going to piss a lot of you off. Yes, it's going to piss a lot of people off. I hope it doesn't piss any of our listeners off because I hope they're a little more conscious than that. But it is going to deal with myths that you were taught in school, maybe possibly in school, yeah, or myths that you'll find outright being told.
Yeah, I think it was a great topic to decide to cover.
Water. So, what's water to you?
Rain.
The rain? Is that water? That's water. That's about as pure as it gets, except for the pollution from the geoengineering and stuff like that. We pick up about between 8 to 12 parts per million is what I've been seeing in it. So water, H2O, right?
Correct.
That's the only thing that should be in your water. Pure water. Okay, pure water. Yeah, we're going to get that. Let's go over to a little article here. It is entitled "Blowing the Lid Off Distilled Water Myths." We decided to grab onto this article here. For all intent purposes, distilled water comes closest to the definition of pure drinking water. Controversy always seems to shroud distilled water through the years. The same old myths and fallacies that were once heard 10 to 15 years ago still continue today. All the misconceptions about distillation and distilled water are grossly misrepresented. The myths listed below have no basis in fact. The purpose of the article is to set the record straight and to lay these false perceptions, to rest. Helping clear up the misconception about distilled water will generally benefit the general public. All right, myth number 1. Distillation takes out all the beneficial minerals. This is a lie. Please listen. This is a statement used countless times, usually from literature, from some filter companies trying to tell you, in effect, that you are but that their filters take out all the bad contaminants, but leave in the good, beneficial minerals. Fortunately, there are many reputable companies who would never think of making this kind of claim in their ads. Distillation will kill and remove bacteria, viruses, cysts, as well as heavy metals, radionuclides, inorganics, and particulates. And yes, it will also remove minerals, which will fall under the inorganic contaminants. Whether the minerals in the water are beneficial or useless has been an ongoing debate. All of our minerals are derived from our food. Fresh fruits and vegetables, meat, poultry, grains, nuts, dairy products. The minerals in water are so scant that in Boston, Massachusetts, USA, for example, one would have to drink to obtain a recommended daily allowance of RDA, glass of tap water. To get their calcium, they would need 676 glasses of water. To get their magnesium, they would need 1,848. To get their iron, they'd need 848. To get their phosphorus, they'd need 168,000. 960 glasses of water, 8-ounce glasses. It seems insane to even think about drinking water that much water. Most people can't even drink the recommended eight glasses of water, a day that's recommended daily. That is widely advocated by health experts. When you think of pure water, what definition comes to mind? It should be H2O, and that's all. It's not H2O with minerals and fluoride, because that doesn't fit the description of pure water. For all intent purposes, distilled water comes the closest to the definition of pure drinking water. The process of distillation removes the broadest range of contaminants over any point of use, POU system. Okay, a point of use system.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Myth number 2. Distilled water leaches minerals from your body. That is not true, people. It can't physically do it. Okay, let me get a drink of water here real quick. I've got some distilled water right here. We distill our own water, so we are practicing what we preach. We've been doing it 4 years, 3 or 4. What the proponents of this myth want you to believe, that's again, distilled water leaches minerals from your body, myth number 2. What the proponents of this myth want you to believe are that because distilled water is so pure, drinking it will leach the minerals from your body, thereby robbing you of the good health and nutrition. There is no basis of fact to document this claim. The national bestseller health and diet book, Fit for Life 2, Living Health by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond, answer this question in the following excerpt. Distilled water has the inert quality, acting almost like a magnet. It picks up rejected, discarded, and unused minerals and assisted by the blood and the lymph, carries them to the lungs and kidneys for elimination from the body. The statement that distilled water leaches minerals from the body has no basis in fact. It doesn't leach out minerals that have become part of the cell structure. It can't, and it won't. It collects only minerals that have already been rejected or excreted by the cells. To suggest that distilled water takes up minerals from food so that the body derives no benefit from them is absurd. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm learning here. I mean, I know I
you know all this.
Well, I do know all this, but listening to it broke down like this, it makes a lot more sense. And
Sorry, I'm messing with my mic.
And if I had to drink all the water to get all these minerals and things and iron and all that,
eat it in your food, people. That's not where you get your minerals and your trace elements and stuff like that. We get it in our food. We don't get it in our water. That's crazy. And quit buying water that's got it added to it. In fact, drink distilled water. Let's move on. There's a myth number 3.
All right.
Long continued drinking of number 3. Long continued drinking of distilled water could cause deterioration of the teeth. I saw this statement in a product, literally from a national filter company. Unfortunately, they were bad-mouthing distillation in order to sell a few more filters. This is truly inventive falsification. The negative message this filter company wants to convey is that drinking distilled water, which has removed all traces of fluoride for long periods, will supposedly wreak havoc on your teeth by deteriorating them. Where is the proof? Okay?
Got it.
Myth number 4. Distilled water tastes bland or has a flat taste. This is probably the most popular myth surrounding distilled water. I have often read this statement from various articles written on water treatment systems. When the articles refer to distillation, they usually say it removes the minerals that will leave a flat taste. I'd be willing to bet that the authors of these types of articles have never tasted freshly made distilled water from a home distiller. These types of false remarks misform consumers so that they have a preconceived notion about distilled water before they even try it. The mistruth about distilled water having flat taste can be explained in several ways. First, in the past years, the original distillers did not incorporate any pre or post carbon filtration. If you tasted straight distilled water made from the use of any pre or post carbon filtration, it might have a steamy taste or a off taste. The use of a carbon filtration with distillation is as follows. Tap or well water is first sent through a pre-filter to help take out chlorine, odors, and sediments. And then the organic contaminants before it reaches the boiling tank of the distiller. After the steam is condensed into the distilled water, it is finally passed through a carbon post filter to remove any potential gases or VOC, volatile organic compounds, VOCs, that might have escaped during the boiling process. Or steaming, actually, but they say boiling. Not using a post filter to clean up any volatile gases, which can produce an off taste that may have escaped during the boiling process. Second, any reason for distilled water having this label for flat taste is someone accustomed to drinking chlorinated or well water high in iron content for a long time. When they suddenly are introduced to distilled water for the first time, it's a shock, noticeably, to their taste buds. People raised on high iron in the well water, for instance, would be used to it, a sweet taste. But when given distilled water, one might say it tastes flat, since it is iron-free. Taste is the number one reason that consumers buy bottled water. It is a $5 billion market a year. Many consumers are led to believe that they need minerals in their water to give it taste. In actuality, it's oxygen that gives your water taste. Water shouldn't have a taste or a metallic afterbite. Try either a cold room temperature glass or freshly made distilled water and taste the difference for yourself. It's delicious. The third reason for the flat taste is a theory of buying distilled water in the store. Distilled water is virtually all bottled water is stored in cheap plastic containers. Some have been known to leach methanol chloride and a carcinogen into the water and also give off plastic tastes and odors. Water has been called the universal solvent. Whatever it touches, it will pick up. Distilled water becomes virtually 100% contaminant-free, might leach plastic tastes into the water from the inferior bottle it's being stored in. Besides glass, consider buying bottles made from Lexan that won't give off any plastic taste or odor. Now, you should know about that part.
Oh, yeah. I've always said that, I didn't like water because of the taste. I, per se, was never on well water, but just regular tap water, oh, God, it's nasty.
Yeah.
That's why I refuse to drink any type of water.
Yeah, tap water's horrible. But what about distilled water?
I like it.
Why? What does it taste like?
It really don't have a distinct taste. It doesn't have that fluoride. I think that's the fluoride that I recognize with.
I get it to taste differently a couple different ways. I keep mine in glass bottles, and I try to drink out of glass. I try not to drink out of plastic. But I'll take it and set it in the sun. And I'll let it sit in the sun for 20, 30 minutes, an hour, and then I'll bring it in and drink it. And it has a different taste.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah, it makes it adds something to the water.
Well, I've been drinking it
Light.
for quite a while now, and it's the only water that I will drink, period.
That's what I've been drinking 4 years. I'm not dead, guys.
And I won't drink it out of a bottle. I don't like the plastic taste. Yeah. So, good stuff.
Okay, myth number 5. Distilled water isn't effective against organic chemicals. Distilled water isn't effective against organic chemicals. VOCs are organic chemicals that have lower boiling points than tap water. For e.g., benzene, when the water is being boiled at 212 Fahrenheit or 100 Celsius in the boiling tank, if VOCs are present, they will vaporize and rise up with the steam as a gas. Many distillers today utilize a volatile gas vent, which is a pinhole in the top of the condensing coil to vent off any unwanted gases. If the VOCs do happen to escape the vent, the carbon post filter will trap them. Carbon pre-treatment before distillation will remove majority of the chlorine and the VOCs, whereas the post-filter is mainly used as a polishing filter. In case of manual distillers, only post-carbon filtration is used and is sufficient in removing VOCs and unwanted gases. There's more to that too, but
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's more to that part of the article. Oh, you can read this. We'll have it again in the show notes. I know I'm going on about this, but it's a nice article. It's big.
Well, I think it's
not that big.
Very, it's sharing some actual facts about it that, people go, oh, you're drinking distilled water. You're going to die.
You're going to die. Yeah, okay, guys. There's 3 places in nature that distilled water occurs. Can you guess them? Anybody? Rainwater, for sure.
I know,
right?
rain. That's what I was going to say. Rain.
Yeah, rainwater.
Is naturally distilled, other than the stuff it picks up.
Well, but it's distilled water. It's how when the earth needs to make water again, need to make fresh water. That's how it does it, guys. It makes
Correct.
rain.
Correct.
Rain is the fresh water. I mean, the fact that they're messing with our skies and geoengineering and throwing chemicals, that's not the rain's fault.
Well, I'm going to also make a point. Anybody that has stomach problems, try it.
Yes.
Because I do firsthand, and I had a stomach bypass due to ulcers several years ago. And when and that's what turned me against drinking water, period. When I'd taste the water from tap or a bottled water, it would just upset my stomach. Well, what they made me a stomach horribly.
They made you a stomach out of a pig stomach, didn't they? You're a little piggy at heart, or at stomach.
Guinea pig. But anyway, try it. I'm telling you, it will make a difference. That is the only water that I can drink and it not upset my stomach. The tap water gives me heartburn for whatever reason. But try it.
Yeah, try it.
There you go. Try it. Okay, let's finish some more myths.
Okay, all right, let me get back there. Okay, just a second here. All right, myth number 6. This one you'll be able to also tell as a myth. Myth number 6. Distillers are expensive to run. Home distillers take about 3 kilowatts to make 1 gallon. That $3.79 a liter of distilled water on the basis of the U.S. average 10 cents per kilowatt hour. That's around 30 cents. That's not really true, is it? Make 1 gallon. 3 watts to make 1 gallon.
It's 30 cents.
Oh, it comes to 30 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So if it's 30 cents too much to pay for pure distilled water, 30 cents is too much to pay for pure distilled water made fresh at your home, compared to buying bottled water from the store that can cost anywhere from 89 cents up to $1.29 per gallon. Jeez, you pay $1.29 for just a little 8-ounce bottle or 12.
Oh, yeah.
Make your own distilled water is cost effective. Why buy the milk when you can have the cow at home? Take an example of buying 5 gallons of distilled water a week at $1 per gallon average. You're spending $2.60 per year, or $260 per year. You have made your own distilled water at 30 cents per gallon. That would be about $78 per year for electrical cost. That is a savings of 70% on the cost of buying bottled water.
Bottled distilled
water, anonymized of the initial purchase of distiller can be made in a short time. The how's that say? Immortalization. I think they're saying you're comping your money back is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Maintaining a distiller is charging pre and post filter about 6 to 12 months and periodically draining out the residue left from the boiling process if there is a heavy scale buildup accumulating in the boiling tank. Well, I don't even think it costs that much to run, do you?
No. And on the cleaning part, I know you don't have to buy any cleaners. Get you some vinegar.
Yeah, white vinegar.
Yeah, let it sit in there. It takes all that stuff right out.
Yeah, and then you just pour it back in a cup, and you're going to use it again and again until it gets too full of stuff, and then throw it and put a little more in. You're only using a little bit in the bottom.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost that much to clean them. I don't think it's costing us 10 cents a gallon. Do you?
No.
I don't think it's costing us 10 cents a gallon. I've made.
We could go high end and say 15.
I make between 4 and 6 gallons a day because we're catching water up. But generally, we drink about a gallon and a half a day between us all.
Or use it
Or
from
use it.
cooking, or anything.
Yeah, anything.
Coffee.
And so I try to at least make 2 gallons a day, and then we have a storage of maybe, I don't know we try to keep about 100 gallons on hand.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
conclusion. It's time to set the record straight about distilled water myths. There is a definite need for the home water distillation market in the industry, and consumers have the right to know the correct facts concerning distilled water. Here are some important points to remember. Distillation, when combined with carbon filtration, will kill and remove virtually 100% of bacteria, viruses, cysts, and will remove heavy metals, inorganics, including minerals, radionuclides, particulates, and organics, and including VOCs. Over 95% of our minerals come from our food and less than 5% from drinking water. You would particularly have to drown yourself by drinking it to get your RDA of any benefit minerals. Pure water refers to the water that is H2O, and that it's not H2O with calcium, iron, fluoride, etc. Distilled water comes the closest to this definition. Distilled water will not leach minerals from your body. There have never been any documented evidence to prove this claim true. It is perfectly safe to drink. Long-term drinking of distilled water is not detrimental to your teeth. Distilled water does not taste bland or flat. Would hundreds of thousands of people worldwide be drinking it every day if it didn't taste good?
no.
Okay, and they do sell distillation units, I believe, at this place. But you can go there and check them out. They'll be in our show notes. This is off of Durastill, DURASTILL.com. Okay.
Some great information.
Some great information there.
You know, the thing of it is, we've said this before. If you're not sure of something and you just prejudge it, and which I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that.
Well, people will also go on the internet and look, and I'm gonna make some points on that in a little while. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, find out or ask someone that has been doing it, and if they're not kicked off and 6 foot under, that ought to tell you something. Yeah. So, like I said, I can't say enough good about it because it's made a difference in how, at least I will drink some water. And I use it, cooking and different things. But it has changed my water intake, in which we all need a certain amount, as we know.
Yes, we do. We need that. That's actually the bottom of our pyramid. They have our pyramid flipped. Our food pyramid, water's first. Oh, yeah. Water's not a food. Well, guess what? There's no other food that you can. 3 days, you'll be dead if you don't have water. A week for sure. But you can go without food for a long time. Mm-hmm. So it's the number one thing you need. So you better be drinking the cleanest water possible. Oh, the other thing, when I said there were 3 ways that of distilled water: rain, fruits and vegetables. That's distilled water inside them, guys. The vegetables distill the water and filter it.
Good point. Yeah,
and the other method the other way that makes distilled water is your urine. Your urine is 95% distilled water. 5% of it is salts and minerals, which is 2.5% of that is urea. Urea is 2.5%. The rest are salts and minerals. The rest is distilled water. So if you get in a bind and you don't have water, what do? I'm going to make you say it.
No, you ain't.
Drink your pee, guys. Immediately begin drinking your pee. Don't filter it. Don't let it sit around. Drink it. If you ever go without water and you know you're going to die, start drinking your pee. You will live. Not only that, you'll be healthy when they find you.
Okay. I guess.
You'll be healthy with a golden smile.
Okay, I mean, it's probably hard for a lot of people to get over that. Just telling them to drink their pee,
Tell them to drink their pee.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a little part here. Okay, what I did is I put together some distilled water tests. I did them myself, so I don't want to hear nobody's crap on it. I did shut off comments. Whether or not shut off, I don't think. I think you just have to be approved because I get a lot of nasty comments. This is a subject that pisses people off when they find out they're drinking garbage. When if you're drinking tap water. But I actually go through and there's, in our show notes, you'll find the list there. It's water testing videos by Dark or Utah MTB. And there's, I believe, 7 videos there. I'm testing everything from rainwater to all your bottled waters that I could get my hands on, to the tap waters, I show you the distillers in some of the videos. And so you can go check all that out, okay? And I was going to play one of my little parts from it, okay?
Well,
that'd be okay?
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
All right. Well, let's play this. This is titled Bottled Water TDS Test. Okay, this is me just testing bottled water, I think. Let's see. It says it's 10 minutes long. Okay. All right, I'll test some bottled water with you here. All right, don't go nowhere. All right, how's everybody doing? Okay, we're going to do a bottled water test. And we're going to do it using a TDS meter, a total dissolved solids, easy meter from HM Digital. Okay, you can buy these for about $15 on Amazon online or Amazon.com. Amazon. Okay, for perfect drinking water, water filter checks, travel, hydroponics, aquariums, food, coffee, much more. Okay, what this is going to check is parts per million, and it's going to see if it's safe drinking water. Okay, test is going to go pretty simple here. What I'm going to do is between each glass, this is distilled water. I make this myself, and this is pretty much clean. It might have 1 part per million in it, and that's it. So what I'm going to do is rinse the glass out with it, dump all my water over here. Let's get another one. Just fill it up about 2 inches. And what I'm going to do is between each one, I'm going to use this water as my neutral base. Okay? All right, let's try the first one. It says about 10 seconds in there. Click the bubbles off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We probably don't have to count, right? I get 0 on this. As you can see, that's clean water. It's 0. 0 parts per million. Let me see if I can get that. There, you can see that just fine. All right, 0. So let's go to the next one. Let's get started with this test. The first one I have is Ozarka. I believe it's a Nestle company. Now let's try Ozarka. All right. So I'm going to pour this in here. And let's check. Turn the meter off and on. And put it in, get the bubbles out of it. Alright, there's about 10 seconds right there. That's about 10 seconds. So hit hold. And if you notice here, we got 0.023, so 23 parts per million. That's not bad, 23. So that's Ozarka. Again, 23 parts per million if you're drinking this. Alright, I would say it's probably reverse osmosis. Alright, let's neutralize. Go to the next one. And go to the next one here. Put the cap back on that. All these are brand new, so the lids are just... Alright, this one is Dasani, right? Dasani. I believe this is Coke who makes this one, alright? It says it's purified water. So let's find out. Alright. Okay, Dasani. 1. Alright, let's see. Purified. Now that should be distilled or reverse osmosis. Some form there. Probably distilled. Alright, let's try that. What do we got here? I'd say we got a 20. 020. You see that? Well, let me try to get that light out of it. There you go. 20. Alright, so the Dasani is 20. Gotcha? That's 20 parts per million. Not too bad. That's fairly safe. Alright, again, let's neutralize. our base, and go to the Aquafina. Aquafina. Next one. If you drink this water, let's see how much you're drinking, or what you're drinking here. Aquafina. All right. See that? Turn this off and on. All right. Aquafina. It's about 10 seconds, right? Whoa. Aquafina is, I would say, distilled. Probably distilled or reverse osmosis, because 001. That's just as good as the water I'm using as my neutral base. So I don't know really what it is. What is it? Pure water. It's probably distilled. Turn it over and look. It'll probably tell you it's distilled. All right. So we know the Aquafina is pretty good. What about the Smart Water? Anybody drink this stuff? Anybody? All right. Let's try that. All right. Let's neutralize our base once again. Turn the meter on. Smart Water. I don't know who makes Smart Water. Vapor distilled water and electrolytes for taste. Vapor distilled. That's what I do. All right, let's try that. 22. So they vapor distilled it, and then they added stuff back into it. 0.22. You see that? And come down a little, and that is once again, the Smart Water. All right, you got that? Smart Water. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, let's neutralize our base. And the next one is Crystal Geyser. All right, natural alpine spring water. Oh my God, that top's tough to get off. Sorry, there's a big bottle of it, so let's see where we end up. All right, Crystal Geyser, guys. You ready for this? All right, we're in. Crystal Geyser, alpine spring water. It's going to be dirtier then, right? Then that should do it. Oh, shoot, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. What this is testing is, I think, the electricity in the water, the conductivity. That's what exactly it's testing. All right, let's look at that. 0.95, so 95 parts per million. Let's bring that up closer. 95 parts per million. All right, and that's for the Crystal Geyser natural spring water. Right? Crystal Geyser natural spring water. All right, let's go to some Walmart stuff. First off, let's go to Walmart spring water. All right, neutralize our base. So we don't get any extra. If there is, it'll just be a small amount. Okay, what do we have? Great Value Spring Water. You get this at Walmart. Great value, guys. See that? You get that at Walmart. All right. All right, let's see. A lot of times when it says purified drinking water, that is distilled. Distilled is the way you want to go. That's how nature would do it. Okay, turn the meter on. We're in it. Alright, looking good. That's about 10 seconds. What does this say? Spring water. I can't really read it. It's probably filtrated or something. What we got? Whoa! Whoa! This is filtrated water. I'll tell you that right off the bat. That's not much better. Let's see, 174. See that? 174 for the Walmart brand Great Value Spring Water with the light blue top. That's the one. 174. That's not very good. Tap water is around 200. So this is filtrated. 180 to 200 is tap water. 174 parts per million. That's the worst so far. Okay, let's keep going. We got one more to test and we're done. All right. That's no better than tap water, really. Let's neutralize our base. Fill it up. Rinse it out. All right, let's give it a try. And this is the Great Value. Let me show you. The Great Value, let's see, drinking water. So I would say this has been distilled or purified or reverse osmosis something. So it should be not too bad. Great Value drinking water, light green cap. Okay. This one's going to be closer to distilled. I squished the top on that one. Didn't mean to. I set the other one on it. All right. Let's see what we get. All right, we get 003. So it's got 3 parts per million. I'm kind of in a bad light, I know. There we are. 3 parts per million for the, let me get just a little bit closer there. You see that, 3 parts per million. 003. For the Great Value drinking water in the light green like cap. Okay? That one's not too bad. That's distilled. Distilled, reverse osmosis, somewhere around in there. All right, that's a water test, guys. Food for thought.
Hey, Dark here. If you have any ideas for topics for the show, don't hesitate to call us, okay? The number is 1-405-445-1691. Just leave a message if nobody answers, okay? We'll get your message, all right?
You gonna say something?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, he tested it right there. And, if you don't believe these tests, try it yourself.
Yeah, I test those, and the people would come along and say, well, those aren't real tests, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
They would do all kinds of stuff. Those are tests, guys. They were the real deal. I mean, I was doing the test. It's in video. You can go check it out. They'll come along and say those aren't legitimate tests, but you can reproduce those tests. Okay, this is what makes it. If I can reproduce it over and over and over and over, guys, we got it. Okay, that's what it is. If I can't reproduce it, then something's wrong. But I also go along to test Fiji and Evian later on in some of the videos, and I show you the distillers. I show you kind of how they work. And you heard my dog in the background squeaking a squeaky toy, didn't you? He's a big dog to squeak such a little squeaky toy.
Yes, he is.
He's huge.
Yeah.
But that's what that is, and you can check out that whole list of videos there, okay? Whole list of, I think there's 7 videos. Let me see, 1 of 7. Let's see, there's TDS drinking water test that will shock you. I think that's the one I just showed you, maybe. Maybe not. Pure water pure rainwater TDS test. What's wrong with me? 4-way distilled water test, which is pH and all that, which is... I'm starting to learn new stuff about pH. That might be a lot of bullshit there, guys. So I might need to redo that. Pure water TDS test, okay? Here's another one. It just tests the difference between waters. Here's the Fiji Evian test. Bottled water TDS is what you just saw. And then a shocking zero water test I did last December 16, 2015. One of those zero water meters. I'll just give you a hint here. It's the best water filter I've ever seen that you can buy in Walmart. It will take water from 250 to 0. And it's got a meter on it. You can get a TDS meter. It comes with it. And you can check them out. Zero water filtration systems that you can get at Walmart. Those are really good, but here's the downfall, guys. It will not, if you got bacteria, cysts, stuff like that in there, probably take most of the cyst stuff out. But bacteria or the water is compromised, you're going to have to boil it before you put it through that. Okay, if your water's compromised. If you're in a situation where it's compromised, that's great because it doesn't require electricity.
True.
But you're going to have to boil that water before you put it through it. So you could boil ditch water and put it through it, and it should come out to about 0.
Yeah.
But the filters, they run out pretty quick. I mean, they go about 10 gallons, would you say? Maybe 8.
Yeah.
And then
maybe.
then the numbers start raising. Right now, I have one in there that I'm using just to try to bring the water from 250 to about 50 to 75, and that's what it's testing out at, about between 50 and 75 parts per million.
Right.
People go, "What are those parts?" Just junk, guys. It could be anything. It could be calcium, magnesium, iron, chemicals. A lot of chemicals in there. A lot of phosphorus. A lot of around here, what they're finding in the water is the stuff they put in the ground. Fertilizers.
Yes.
Fertilizers the farmers are using, probably fertilizers and glycosamate and all kinds of shit. So when we're talking about water, guys, we're talking about something serious here. Your water is your resource. It is, everyone, it is, we need that more than food. It's our first food.
Correct. Yeah. I'm working on it.
Yeah, you don't drink enough water. I know, because you think you're getting your water out of that Pepsi, but it's a little hard for you to do this show and realize at the same time what you're drinking, right?
That's a different topic.
No, it isn't a different topic, because the same water they're using, they're putting in their bottled waters, is the same water that you're drinking in that Pepsi.
True.
And there's fluoride in that. They're fluorinating that water.
I'm not disagreeing.
Which is again calcifying your pineal gland, guys. That's why you can't think for yourselves. That's why you need a government to tell you what to do. Dumbasses.
Well, we got 15 minutes left, so let's...
That's all we got left?
I know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Well, water's a subject that I've not only just studied, but I've been a part of it my whole life. I've been drinking water my whole life.
He's very passionate about it, in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I am passionate about water because I have too many people come along and tell me I'm giving disinformation, that the water has minerals in it, and if you take those minerals out, those people will die. Wake up.
But we've got some other great articles that is on our show page that tell you many things, going on with water, and more information on the distilled part, too.
What do you got?
Well, I've got several things in the news recently about Flint, Michigan water is now causing rashes and hair loss across the city. The results of an investigation seeking to find out what caused a spike of rashes and hair loss among Flint, Michigan residents suggest that the symptoms may be due to exposure to the city's water supply.
It is.
You think?
I know. I'll bet their life on it, too.
And then in California...
I'll bet you some clean water.
In California, tap water, most toxic in the nation.
Don't drink that stuff, man. Distill your water, guys. Get home distillers. Drink distilled water. You can buy it, but it's not as good.
A new study out of Harvard University has some really bad news for you all. If you live in California, New Jersey, North Carolina, or one of the handful of other American states, the water coming out of your tap may be contaminated with life-threatening things. So check that out for sure.
You mean like lions and tigers and bears? Oh my!
Maybe gorillas.
You guys don't drink the tap water. Don't drink. I know. They try to get you to, and they try to turn you away from water. They try to turn you away from water so you'll drink their junk in the bottles.
Yeah.
They'll drink their Pepsis, right?
Yep.
You'll drink their Cokes. You'll be, I like Mountain Dew. I don't drink any of that crap. I very rarely even drink a Coke. I'll take a sip of hers every once in a while, but no, thank you. I'm mostly water, and I drink a lot of kombucha. Again, that's for another show, but I use the distilled water to make the kombucha.
Yes, he does.
That's the key for
Yes,
better
he does.
kombucha. Hey, I got one.
What do you got?
Okay, it's in the show notes. When you do a Google search, okay, just on distilled water, or is it safe? Is distilled water safe to drink? Usually, anytime you use the word distilled water, you're going to get the first search result will be the same search result every time. Okay, it'll be the Muracola.com. Early death comes from drinking distilled water. Yeah, I know that sounds evil, doesn't it? That's the same one you'll get every time. You'll always get this one. And if you actually go get the actual document where he states that, it's just a theory. he theorizes that it could possibly leach the minerals and stuff out of the bones and stuff. And this is early on, and they ran with that. They ran with that with no proof. Again, no proof. And we do have proof it doesn't. It can't do it. It can't leach something directly from the cell, guys. Once the cell's holding it and uses it, it's energy now.
Yeah, it's like a gel cell.
Yeah, but what's been discarded is what it's gonna get rid of. And if you pull down that list, you'll find Dr. David Williams, why you should drink distilled water. Learn distillation basics and answers to frequently asked questions. There are more than 75,000 chemical compounds used by industrial and agriculture, with thousands more added each year. That's some of the stuff on that page. You can check that in the show notes. That's Dr. David Williams. Okay, there's about education at chemistry.about.com. Can you drink distilled water? Now, I wouldn't trust this site. So you can go read this for yourself, but since I can tell that they're a mainstream site, they're going to tell you, no, drink our water, guys. Drink our stuff in the bottle. I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you that. The answer is usually yes, you can drink distilled water, but let us tell you a lie. All right, and if you move on again, livingstrong.com again has a thing on distilled water, the differences. Water is a big business. Distilled water is considered general consumption in the 1960s when on demand. Okay, it goes on to tell you a little bit. You can check out their article. Well, these are the articles that come up on Google, okay? Mm-hmm. And one I wanted to mention real quick before we move on was infiniteunknown.net, okay? And they have an article on 24 doctors with the courage to tell the truth about distilled water. And they actually, the cool thing here is they actually have the books and all that stuff is available here. I mean, you might have to buy them, but they're available. And all the information is here about all these doctors that came forward. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, Jelly Bean.
Wow. I think a lot of people have a lot of research to do to find out about this.
But all that's in the show notes. You can go check any of that out. Okay. Now remember, always watch if you're in mainstream media sites, and always use your discernment. You got your own head on you. If somebody's going to try to lie to you, your bullshit meter will go off.
Oh, totally.
It will.
I agree 100%.
And water is a big lie, guys. The way you can tell a filter company's lying to you is they've got something to sell.
If their mouth's moving?
Yeah, because you can distill water. If you go on YouTube, you can distill water in the sun. There's so many different ways to distill water.
Correct.
Without even energy.
I seen that this morning.
Yeah. I mean, it's just evaporation, guys. We're collecting the steam from the evaporation. That leaves behind all the particles and shit we don't want. And hopefully gets rid of the chemicals out of it in between. Double distillation would probably remove everything. Distill it twice.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, you got a musical guest coming up.
Yes, I do. Blues artist Michael Quest. Michael used a consent repeated lyric technique, speaking on what.
Do you need some water?
No, what was accomplished through the passion. His passion, a veiled commentary on modern life and self-interest through questioning introspects of the theme of his new album. Here's a song titled Conviction Blues.
Catch me and charge me with crime. Frame me with no alibi. Condemn me, then chain me up. Search me and put me in cuffs. So begins the trial. I'm accused thereof. Conviction of love. Accuse me right to my face. Serve me, then make your case. conviction of love. Judge me without defense. Hurt me and make me confess. So resumes the trial. The charge is brought up for conviction of love.
more information on what we're talking about tonight, visit our website at IndieMediaNetwork.com. That's IndieMediaNetwork.com.
Hey, welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed that. That was a little blues artist, Michael Quest there. Good job, Michael.
Oh, yeah, that's good. It will be on the station and available to buy.
Yes.
He's on iTunes.
There you go.
So you'll be able to buy his music right off the station. Did you link it to that? Oh, is it on his page? His
Yes.
iTunes? Is his,
I'm pretty sure it is.
his iTunes is linked on his page. You know up where it says website?
Yep.
We should have their iTunes there.
Good point.
Yeah, very good point.
There you go.
All right.
Well,
We still got a few minutes.
Yeah, the topic of today, in case you're just tuning in, has been the blowing the lid off of distilled water myths.
Myths.
Yes.
It should be myth, but there's myths. There's lots of them.
Yeah, there's
There's
everybody's take on it.
Okay, now I'm
opinion.
going to be honest with you, straight up. I drink it. I've been drinking it for years and years and years now. We make our own. It's cheap to make. It's better water. You'll notice it right off the bat. Your teeth will feel better. Your body will feel better. It'll start to decalcify you. And another thing I'm looking at it for is the reason I started actually looking into it was to remove the heavy metals that are being sprayed on us from our brain, because it gets caught in our brain.
I've got him adding it to the moonshine now in the distiller. I'm joking.
Oh yeah, we do have we need to do moonshine more often. I don't drink alcohol. You do. You're a booze head.
I do not.
Sorry, I'm just playing with you.
Yeah, but
I can play with her. Literally.
no, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Only in your dreams.
Oh, yours too, then.
But I hope everybody enjoyed this topic, and I know you're probably questioning it like I did. But like I said, until you don't knock it till you try it.
Oh, yeah, question it. We want you to question it. We want you to go out and research for yourself. But use discernment, guys. Don't just listen to anybody's bullshit. If they're trying to sell you something, that's discernment. You got to use that. I mean, that article I did read, yeah, they were trying to sell you. They weren't trying to sell you anything, but they sell water distillers, okay? And that company knows the truth. And I didn't learn this information from them. I learned on my own, but I was surprised to find a water distillation company that knew it. I mean, they know it. Of course they would know it.
All right, real quick in mainstream. Philippines president to Obama. I'm no American puppet.
Yes, you are, Obama.
No, Philippines president says to Obama, I'm no American puppet.
He's not, then. He's a Philippine puppet.
Well, the new iPhone have a headphone jack.
It really should, guys, because I'm still using it.
U.S. investigating potential covert Russian plan to disrupt. Hermit rocks cruise ship en route to Bermuda.
What does?
Herman?
The hurricane?
Uh-huh. Obama defends Colin Kirkpatrick.
Colon cancer?
I guess. Trump mistakes confidential and classified in Clinton's attack.
Oh, Trump is Clinton's trump card, so what do we care? And Bernie was her burn.
ISIS plans more targets during Paris attacks.
Good.
Diddy, black voters shortchanged by Obama. Rapper turned...
What? Diddy? We do, what?
Diddy, the rapper...
Diddy do who?
Yeah, says he thinks that the black voters got a little bit shortchanged with Obama.
Diddy dude, that's a dumb Diddy name.
Diddy dum, diddy do. But anyway, that's in mainstream. Take it for what it's worth.
It's not worth anything. It's not worth anything. All that's to keep you occupied, guys. Shut that shit off.
So,
I'm serious. Shut that crap off and let's get to talking to each other.
I hope everybody's had a great Labor Day, enjoying it with their families, and had safe travels everywhere.
Okay, we're about time to wrap this up in the next 30 seconds. So we're out of time. They're going to cut us off.
Well, let's wrap it up and put a bow tie on it. So
all right, we will. Okay, check your water, check our sources, look at our notes, talk to us, leave some stuff in the comments, and we do got a special guest tomorrow. So
we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, this is the News You Can Use hour. We're not an hour. Are we an hour long? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
But we're every day, 5 days a week. We did miss Friday because of a Foghat concert. But
yeah, we'll tell you more about that later.
all right, we're out here, guys. Till
Bye.
next time.
Hey, Dark here. If you have any ideas for topics for the show, don't hesitate to call us, okay? The number is 1-405-445-1691. Just leave a message if nobody answers, okay? We'll get your message, all right? For more information on what we're talking about tonight, visit our website at IndieMediaNetwork.com. That's IndieMediaNetwork.com. News You Can Use, live weekdays 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And again at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, hosted by TMC and Dark. News You Can Use is a comprehensive look at the news that is affecting you and your environment directly. Don't miss the live broadcast, but if you do, all shows are archived on demand and podcasted for your enjoyment on Independent Media Network.